Congress. That is perjury, subornation of perjury, witness tampering, obstruction of justice, conspiracy. I would say to Liz Cheney, you better lawyer up.
They believe that they can affect the testimony of witnesses before the committee, and it's something we take very seriously, and it's something that people should be aware of. It's a very serious issue, and I would imagine the Department of Justice would be very interested in and would take that very seriously as well.
There is two systems of the justice in this country, and I'm tired of them, and you should be either.
Congressman, I mean, you don't think that the January 6th committee should have investigated what took place at the Capitol on January 6th?
Today, I came to party.
Welcome to the Doug TenNapel channel. This is where the happy patriots are. I just now watched a video with Mike Davis, and he talks about why Fani Willis needs to lawyer up, Juan Merchan needs to lawyer up, but brand new to that list is adding Liz Cheney, who probably did witness tampering and is also going to be not just investigated, but prosecuted under Trump's new DOJ.
They believe that they can affect the testimony of witnesses before the committee, and it's something we take very seriously, and it's something that people should be aware of. It's a very serious issue, and I would imagine the Department of Justice would be very interested in and would take that very seriously as well.
In fact, Cheney told me that the committee may make a criminal referral to the Justice Department recommending that anybody that attempted to influence witness testimony before the committee be prosecuted for witness tampering.
And she deserves it for being a criminal. Let's watch.
Let's start with old Liz Cheney. Look, Liz Cheney, the evidence is pretty clear with these text messages that Liz Cheney tried to get Cassidy Hutchinson to change her sworn testimony to Congress. That is perjury, subornation of perjury, witness tampering, obstruction of justice, conspiracy. I would say to Liz Cheney, you better lawyer up, because I don't think your daddy's going to be able to get you out of this.
Why would she need Cassidy Hutchinson to change her testimony unless she needed her to beef it up to better get Trump?
Do you think there should be a criminal investigation into Liz Cheney, one of your former colleagues?
If she broke the law, why should she be exempt? If I guarantee you, if Manu Raju or you broke the law, they'd drag y'all into court in chains. And why should she be exempt?
You don't think Liz Cheney broke the law, do you?
If she manipulated this thing, if she met with people, if she coached them, as they're saying, if she talked to them on a secret website, which they're saying she did, if she coached them, if she altered evidence, if she withheld evidence, then she broke the law.
What's the evidence? What's the evidence of that? I mean, the report came out just days after Donald Trump said that Liz Cheney and other members of the committee should go to jail. Aren't they just doing his bidding?
What's the evidence that Matt Gaetz has other than a report? You've got a report. It's the same thing. That's why people do not trust the media. You have a double standard for one and not for the other. If she didn't break the law, then she's fine. But if she did break the law, she should be held accountable. What is wrong with them asking questions?
The House Ethics Committee. The House Ethics Committee is voting to release this report. You want the government to go after Trump's political enemies?
If they broke the law, I don't care if they're my political enemies or they're my friends. If they broke the law, dadgummit, they ought to be brought in and they ought to be brought to justice. There shouldn't be. That's what we talk about all the time. That's why Trump's in the White House, because there is two systems of justice in this country, and you can't have it both ways. You have got to. It's got to be straight and right down the middle. You can go back and watch all the tapes that the conservatives put out of the Democrats saying there's not two forms of justice, there's just one. Well, there is two forms of justice. The Biden White House, obviously, they're releasing criminals, and at a record number, and nobody's paying attention. There is two systems of the justice in this country, and I'm tired of them, and you should be either.
Congressman, I mean, you don't think that the January 6th committee should have investigated what took place at the Capitol on January 6th?
Well,
I know you don't believe that. I know you don't believe that.
If they investigate it, why didn't they call me in? I volunteered. I was the last person to leave the House floor, the last House member. Myself, Markwayne Mullin. Neither one of us was called in to see what we saw,
Doesn't it
show
set
what leadership. All they did was investigate the political wherewithal. It was a witch hunt from the start. That's why the final episode of that crazy thing, there was more people watching reruns of SpongeBob on the Cartoon Network.
Is this
than watching
about
that clown
so?
show.
Is this about getting revenge? Is this about Trump getting revenge? And
It's
House
about-
Republicans going along with it?
It's about justice. When we point the finger at somebody who's not kind to us, you all automatically assume it's political. If it's political, then why not play it out into the court of public opinion? You sure had it played out on January 6th, and you never called anybody in. It was all a political witch hunt. They stacked the committee. They didn't allow then Speaker McCarthy to appoint his two people that he wanted.
You and I have talked about this before.
changed that.
Congressman, you and I have talked about this. It would never have happened in the first place if Trump had just honored the results of that election. But that's all the time we have. Congressman Tim Burchett of Tennessee, thanks very much for your time.
Jim, I hope you have a very politically incorrect Merry Christmas, brother.
Here's another weird tie to this whole thing. You know how I always complain that my whole life ends up coming back to The View and the ladies on The View. Guess how Liz Cheney got put together with Cassidy Hutchinson? It was Elisa Farrah Griffin who put them together. So Elisa Farrah Griffin is why Cassidy Hutchinson ended up talking to Liz Cheney, who ended up, and Liz Cheney is in trouble.
Fani, your Fani's off the case. Mike, you and I saw this coming. I mean, I think you came on when the other judge, the local district judge, the one that worked for her, that was up for re-election, that skinny kind of balding guy, who said it was okay, she stayed on the case. And you said, that's going to get overturned. He's obviously doing it for political reasons. And here we are.
Yeah, so Fani Willis hired her dumb, unqualified boyfriend as her special prosecutor to go after Trump and 18 others. Fani paid her dumb boyfriend $700,000 in Fulton County taxpayer funds, including for his 2 meetings with the Biden White House, 16 hours, $250 an hour, $4,000. Oh, by the way, Fani took illegal kickbacks from Nathan Wade in the form of these lavish trips around the world, police.
Okay, that's specifically what's illegal about them going on a trip. It's not a problem for you to go on a trip. It is when it's an illegal kickback. That is a form of an illegal kickback, is when you, Fani Willis, get to go on a trip with Nathan Wade that is funded by the money he made on your case. You're supposed to be publicly helping the public. You're a public servant, and you end up helping one party, and then you gain from it personally. That's why Fani Willis needs to lawyer up. She might be in the same prison cell as Liz Cheney. That'd make a great sitcom. The Liz and Fani cell.
This judge said that, Fani, you get a pick. You could pick whether you want off the case or your boyfriend gets kicked off the case. Well, That's not how the law works. The Georgia Court of Appeals correctly held that Fani Willis and her entire office is disqualified because at a minimum there is an appearance of impropriety.
Yeah.
When she's taken illegal.
I'd say so.
I always thought that was funny too, that Judge McAfee or McAfee, he said you can either you can remove yourself from the case, Fani Willis, or you can remove Nathan Wade. And she goes, oh yeah, I'll dump Nathan Wade. And she just totally turns on him. I always thought that was one of the funnier sick burns of the whole thing. But we already saw in an earlier video with Megyn Kelly and Ashley Merchant that it was Fani Willis had to stay on the case because she was personally involved with it and was personally compromised and could not give it to another judge. And that's when you should have known. But anyways, McAfee set it up so that the whole thing would fall apart. It could be intentionally that he set it up so that it would fall apart on Fani Willis, making him possibly a secret good guy.
Juan Merchan, as you heard, digging in his heels, doesn't want to overturn that ridiculous 30-some counts and all the money and all that crap. Do you think there's going to be enough pressure before inauguration to make him change his mind? Or are we just going to have to wait till Trump gets in and we've got Pam in as AG, and then we get some pressure from the Trump administration to make that judge reverse it like he should have ages ago?
There are so many reversible errors in this bogus case in New York for the non-crime of a businessman settling a nuisance claim.
Yeah.
It's clearly politicized and weaponized by Alvin Bragg and Matthew Colangelo. Here's the big problem for this Democrat judge, Juan Merchan. he has an illegal conflict of interest. His daughter, Lauren Michon, is making money. She's fundraising off of this case. She's on the Democrat payroll, the Biden and Kamala payroll. He has to recuse under New York statute. He's digging in. He's going to set himself up where he is a big target of the Trump 47 Justice Department, because this is clearly corrupt what he's doing. He is ignoring the Supreme Court's presidential immunity decision.
Okay, so that's another weird similarity between that Juan Merchan and Fani Willis, that he also was personally benefiting in that his daughter was a Democrat fundraiser for Kamala Harris, among other people. So he was helping her with this case. They had letters of her going around talking about the Trump prosecution. And she would say, like, please give more money if you want that to continue or whatever, or to celebrate Trump's demise. But still, she was able to stoke the fires, and she had access to her dad. So of course that's illegal, just beyond, it's not proper to look that way in public. You have to look like you live your life above reproach, or these kinds of accusations come out. It's not my fault we're accusing Juan Merchan and his daughter of corruption. It's you. Look how it looks. You did this.
They all said we were crazy when I said all these cases are going to go away. Guess what? Trump's not going to Rikers Island. He's going back to the White House. And I would say to this, Democrats who ran this illegal lawfare, lawyer up, guys.
Lawyer up. And you know what? This is a real victory for us, because Trump didn't win this one alone. He was going to go to jail. He needed to be rescued. And who rescued him? We the people, the voters. Because if we didn't vote for him and he didn't win, he would be rotting in prison right now. So we helped save Trump, and then he's going to turn around and, as president, save the United States. I'm Doug in Exile.